is Meghan?
Meghan is
Meghan Camarena is 100% a dreamer.
She just comes off as like really down to earth, definitely.
Meghan is definitely one of the most hardworking girls I know.
I would describe her as unique.
Meghan is sometimes very difficult.
She's hilarious.
She knows what she wants.
She is so motivated.
She's like a really humble human being.
Meghan's definitely the leader.
Hi, I'm Meghan. From as long as I can remember, I've always enjoyed being in front of the camera. My dad had one of those giant VHS recorder cameras, and he would set it up at like any event. One of my earliest memories was when I think I was 4 years old, and my brothers were just born, my younger brothers Christian and David, and my dad had the camera set up and he had it focused on them because he wanted to try and capture like their baby moments and whatnot. And he had walked away for a minute, and I found like the angle where I would be in frame, and I was just like jumping up and down and like posing and even trying to do like little like knock knock who's there, and no one was like listening to me.
I'm Sherry Camarena. I'm married to David Camarena. We have 5 children. We have 4 boys, 1 girl stuck right in the middle, and that one girl is Meghan Camarena.
Made sure she was the center of attention whenever there's a camera out or whenever there's people over. She'd always make sure she'd have her like ballet turns on point, her clothes on point, and everything.
She loves being the center of attention, but now she's also at the point where she's like, you know, like she doesn't mind letting somebody else being in the center of attention, like center of attention. She doesn't mind like giving someone the platform.
She loves being the center of attention. Even as we were kids, me and my brother would throw a cardboard box on the ground, and we'd like dance on it. And my sister would make sure she would always be on top of that box, in the center of it. And my mother and dad, my mom and dad would record us.
As a kid, Meghan was always trying to be in front of the camera. Or film projector, whatever you had on, she was in front of it. She was doing her bit, her routine, you know, just any way to get out there in the camera, pose, do whatever. And she's gorgeous. She's always been gorgeous.
But I remember like just loving that moment, and it was funny because when we all watched the playback, everyone started laughing because I was being such a spaz. And then later on it just became annoying, like whenever people saw me heading towards the camera when they had it set up, they're like, Meghan, get away from that. So I had my one strong moment. But I've always loved being in front of the camera. I just didn't know if that was ever going to be something I could do for a living.
I knew that she wanted to do acting, and I know that living in Modesto is kind of limited because it's Modesto, so it's a cow town. So I definitely know that. I know that she wanted to get out of Modesto. That wasn't her long-term goal.
I felt like television and movies and how they edit and put stories together was something so complicated and intense. I figured you'd have to go to school for a ton of years to learn how to do stuff like that.
Meghan as a kid was really, she was really bossy. She was very in control. She liked being in control.
Meghan, from when she was a baby till now, has always been coming straight on with everything she's got. We barely made it to the hospital when she was born. I mean, literally, the doctor caught her. She was coming out so fast. She was absolutely beautiful. She always had it in her to direct. She went to preschool when she was 3½, and she directed everybody and everything. She always had it going on. And at preschool they had door monitors. So at home she always had to be the door monitor and direct people and go, you know, you go this way, you go that way. Always had to get the door.
I remember one birthday she grabbed, we didn't really have a lot of money, So she grabbed 2 paper plates, put candy in the middle of those 2 paper plates, glued them, tied a string onto it, and went on top of the roof and had us hit it. And it was the thought that counted on that birthday, and it was one of the best birthdays I had because of that reason, because she put this thought into it, and you know, she wanted us to have a birthday. She also was a really good sister, because I never had a mother figure in my life. So she kind of stepped in and filled that void. So it was she was a sister, a mother, and a best friend all at one time. So it was kind of like she was the superwoman to me. So that's where she got multitasking done. From her being as a kid, you know, from helping us out to now, she has a very kind heart, and she's always wanting to help her family. My sister loves making people laugh. I think it's the Camarinas. We love making people laugh. We like to have a sense of humor. When things get a little awkward and when things get a little heated, we throw a little humor inside of it because it dulls it down a little bit, or like, you know, brightens it up. And that's what we love. We love when people laugh at our jokes. We love when people laugh just in general with us. So I think who doesn't like making people laugh, though? It's just a great imagination, and she puts that into her videos, and you see it, and it's just funny to watch them, as well as it's interesting, because she does a great job at it, and she's a very good person. She makes people laugh around her, and she brings that to the table, as well as when she walks into a room, you know. Center of attention, she loves to make people laugh.
As much as I like movies and television, it never occurred to me that there were people that were my age or even younger actually doing that. And I remember when I stumbled across YouTube and I found out there were people who were creating their own videos, their vlogs, and telling their stories and music videos, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. If they can do it, you know, maybe I can. Maybe it's not that difficult. And I remember I realized that my picture camera that I would use to take my MySpace pictures, it could record video. And so I was really determined. I'm like, I want to tell stories on YouTube. I want to be a vlogger. I want to figure out how to do that. So I started recording little clips from start to finish, from you hit record to stop. That's how I would figure out a scene. And one of the first videos I uploaded to YouTube was a Star Wars story that I had with my little cousins. It's called Star Wars Part 1. And it's just one scene. And I didn't know how to edit things together, so I figured, I'm like, oh, this is great. I'll upload each individual clip, and then I'll have people watch each video, and it'll be a full story. Little did I know that that's not how editing works at all, but that's all I knew how to do, and that's what I thought was right. I ended up giving up because that took way too long to tell a story. When Megan first started making YouTube videos, I didn't really think there was much of an audience for it. You know, when she was doing music videos or when she was dancing to a music video, I just was like, I thought it was really cool, you know, because she did it a lot. She would do videos a lot when she first started, and to see where it is now, it's just really cool. When Megan first started making YouTube videos, I thought that it was really cool. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to jump on this bandwagon, but I never did it because I was so insecure that I just didn't want to deal with that insecurity. So I was like, you know, if she wants me to be in her video, I'll wait till she asks. So she asked me, and then I was like, yes, I'm in this stuff. So I got really excited. I think around high school, or the end of high school, is when she started YouTube. And she just, day and night, was on that computer. And we did everything we could to try to help her as much as we could. David was kind of in the background, cheering her on. We all were, but David was right there, and she was just driven. It's crazy because I feel like for a portion of my YouTube life, people knew me as the music video girl, but that's not how I started. I was a vlogger. That's what I did. I vlogged about stuff that was happening with my day, whether it was allergies, or the fact that I loved bright colors, or a new pair of shoes that I got. That's what I did. I remember putting together like little skits where I talk about like I got these really awesome Nikes, and I was like, I finally got new shoes, they're so amazing, and I feel so awesome when I wear them. And then it cuts to a clip of me thinking I'm really awesome, and I'm like, I can run faster, and then I cut to me darting across camera, and I thought, oh, it's just so neat being able to tell a story and add those funny moments, because I think that's the way my brain works. I say something, and then there's like kind of an action that follows it, but to be able to put that in video form, that was just like really cool.
When I first saw the video of Meghan showing off her new Nikes, I was a little like, you're crazy, girl. What are you doing? Loading about your new Nikes and making a video about it. But also I was really like, that's so cool. Like at first I was like a little like, you're crazy. And then I saw the comments and I saw the views that she got.
Around the same time I started YouTube, I was in Bible college, which is like also known as seminary, and I was in this really intense internship, and I met this this guy named Sean, and he was super into video. He was like the church's video guy, and he knew how to edit, and he was actually one of the first people to ever give me an actual camera, like a video recording camera. It had DV tapes that you had to like put in to record and do the firewire to transfer it to your computer, but it was a camera and it felt so much more official than my picture camera.
When Meghan first got her first camera from Sean Aarons, she was ecstatic. She was like, this is a like better version of the camera that we were working with, so it was kind of like, so she was really pumped up. We actually started filming right away because she was so excited just to have like a nicer, better quality camera.
And I remember he took the time to teach me how to edit, and I thought he was the smartest dude in the world. I'm like, oh my gosh, he knows how to do this like how they do it in the movies and television. And after he taught me how to edit, I just felt so empowered.
She picked it up really quickly, and I remember when she was editing videos, I was like, you're so smart. How do you do this? So, and it's now I know how to do it, and it's so easy. I was like, why didn't I learn this quick enough? Why did I learn this? This is so easy.
I'm like, these stories that I see so vividly in my head no longer have to be things that I just keep to myself or stories that I try and tell verbally. I can actually put pictures to them, and it was so exciting as a creative person to be able to have that within reach. It's just, I just remember thinking like, this is the start of something great. One of the first videos I edited on my YouTube channel was called Facial Expressions, and it was a bunch of clips, one-take clips that I had uploaded to YouTube, and I threw them into Windows Movie Maker, and I edited the funny moments, I thought, to Lean Like a Cholo, because it was the only song that I could import into Windows Movie Maker. I was still very new. This was my first edited video, but I used every single effect Windows Movie Maker had to offer. Every transition, like it was, I remember feeling so proud. I'm like, I am an editor. After that, I started getting a little bit, I felt like way more confident. Not tremendously, but the fact that I could edit now, I didn't have to worry about awkward pauses.
Meghan has a lot of awkward, embarrassing stories of us.
There's so much power in being able to edit out those awkward moments, because I was able to make myself seem way cooler than I actually am. And I felt more confident writing like scripts. Like one of them was weird hats, where I just tried on a bunch of weird hats and did accents, and it was just so random. I needed to clean my room, and instead of cleaning my room, I made this video of me doing really random stuff with weird hats.
There's a new sheriff in town, and I reckon I don't knock your top.
Indeed! No! And I started using my my picture camera to record myself skating, and I would upload those videos to YouTube. I started watching other YouTubers like Brookers and Hill 88 and Smosh, and their videos were kind of more vlog formatted, and I thought that was really, really cool. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll just do one giant one take, no cuts, of me just trying to vlog.
When I first thought my sister about vlogging, it was kind of a little weird, not going to lie. It was kind of, I was like, okay, well, you had enough, girl, stop it. I was waiting for her to stop, but she kept going.
So, some of you may be wondering why I have black paint on my face and I'm wearing an ugly beanie I bought from Mainland a long time ago.
It was so awkward. I didn't know what to do. It was just way too awkward.
Now I'm in love with it. Like, I do daily vlogs, and she just is like, that was a big inspiration for me to do it, because I was like, when I have kids, I want them to see what I did when I get older.
When I do one takes on my vlogging channel now, I feel so incredibly awkward, but those first ones were pretty bad.
I'm gonna try my best to remember what I did today, and hopefully you'll be able to follow along.
So I started dragging my brother David into my vlogs with me.
And it got to the point I was like, you know what, this is actually really cool, because like when we get older and like, you know, like when we have kids, like we can tell our kids, like, go on YouTube, you can search my username and I will be there, and like you can see all the stuff that I did when I was younger. It's kind of like a diary kind of thing.
So look at my hair, I got a little bang thing going on. See it? Action, bang, action. Yeah, trying something new with my hair, because I haven't done anything with my hair since ever. And I decided, hey, those bang things are pretty cool, so I'm going to do this side bang thing.
There's one vlog that I have set up that I actually kick a water bottle into his head. I don't know how it happened, but it's so amazing. It's like gold. It's privated now.
Ow! Oh, it in my head!
So the funny video that Megan threw the water bottle, I didn't let her do that to me. We got back from church, and I remember we just got Taco Bell, and we were just like, she's like, you want to film a video? And I was like, yeah, sure. So she set up the camera, and she started doing some crazy stuff in the background. I was like, this is my time to shine. I'm going to be in front of the camera. So I was like, these moments count, David. These little minutes that you have, what are you going to do? And I remember I was just being crazy as always. And that water bottle hit me, and I was like, are you being serious right now? But then I immediately looked up, and I was like, it's still recording. This is going to be such a funny video. So I would do stuff for a video that's ridiculous just for the laughs, because I love that, kind of organic kind of thing, where it's like I didn't know it was coming. I didn't know, like, you know, like that happened. So.
It in my head! Okay, shut up. Ready? Here you go.
That hurt. Jerk. I loved it. I thought it was funny. But when the old David was kind of irritated, but the new David's, it's funny.
There's actually a video on my YouTube that is privated, but it's the very first music video David and I had ever created. And it's a one take, of course, but it is the best because David's dance moves are killer. We had one part of the music video that we tried to like sync up perfectly, where I would be doing a dance move in front of him and he'd do one on the side, and it was, I remember we were watching playback and we were like, oh, nailed it, that looks so good. And then we watched it today and I'm like, oh my gosh, what were we thinking? That looks so stupid.
So when my sister was pulling up old videos, and she pulled up this one video that we were dancing in a hallway with, I was wearing a freaking striped bun up with a shirt over it. Oh dear God, Jesus, help me please. It's so embarrassing because, why didn't anyone stop me with that outfit? That's all I could think about, and hers too. Dang, why did I dress? But looking back on it, I think it's hilarious, but I think it's also embarrassing too as well. I was cringing through the whole entire video.
Like I said, when I started doing YouTube, I was in a seminary in a very intense internship, and it was distracting me from a lot of my studies. The internship was like, it was crazy. There were some mornings where I'd have to get up at like 6 in the morning, and then I wouldn't get back home until 2 in the morning, and then I have to wake back up and do it all over again. So it took a lot out of me, and then I had school on top of that. And just everything was suffering, and a lot of people were telling me, maybe you should take a break. I don't know if YouTube's like the best thing for you. You have a lot on your plate. This probably isn't a good idea.
When they first told her to take a break from YouTube, I was kind of irritated because I don't like when people like tell us what to do, especially when we have a big dream and we're like dreaming for that dream, and then somebody just comes out of the woodworks and says, you need to stop doing what you're doing. Who are you? Like, who do you think you are? And for them to do that I got really irritated with it. Like, this is my first time ever dealing with the church, and I got saved that year, so I really was kind of irritated, but at the same time was like, they know better because they're older and they're more spiritual. But what I didn't know was they're total a-holes.
And at the time I started really like taking it in, and I was getting comments on my YouTube videos. I was getting like views that really felt like a lot for me, because back when I started 2007, 2008, like there weren't online personalities. You were in the top 10 if you had 30,000 subscribers. It was kind of a big deal. So to get any type of views or recognition for being a personality online, that was something I didn't want to lose. But then I realized that I was finding a lot of my confidence in who I was in the comments and the feedback that people would leave on my videos. Like, they're like, oh, I don't like when you make these type of videos, you should do more of this. And I started becoming very people-pleasing, and it was very draining. As a creative person, when people don't like something that you put a lot of time and effort into, this is just for maybe not just a creative person, but anyone in general, it's soul-crushing, because it's like, oh, but like, I did this like special thing, did you even notice that? I put so much time into this and I wanted to make it great. And it was starting to make me feel really bummed out, and I was starting to question like who am I? Am I finding my identity in these comments and what people say about me? And I felt like it was best for me to take a minute, I say a minute, and a minute actually means like 3 months. It was a whole summer, just to figure out if YouTube was the direction I wanted to head in. Was it something that I really wanted to do? Was it a distraction? Like, instead of cleaning my room, I made a YouTube video? Was I using it as an excuse to maybe not be social or do my schoolwork? And I just needed to figure that out for myself. So that summer, I ended up hiking over 60 miles. Like, every single weekend, I would drive up to Yosemite and I would just hike the whole day. I would leave my house at like 5 in the morning, get there an hour and a half later, and I would just spend the whole day just hiking, journaling, sitting next to waterfalls, just getting inspired and being around such awesome, like, beautiful things. It was really healing, and it was such an important part of my life. It's one of the best summers I've ever had, and it was such a huge part of me growing as a person. Because when I came back from that break that summer, I remember in August, I just had such new vision, and I remember thinking to myself, I like doing YouTube videos because it makes me happy, and I like sharing, and I like being creative, and I've never been able to express myself in that way. I know who I am, and I know why I'm doing this. So there's no comment that anyone could leave, or nothing that anyone could say that's gonna change my mind about that, because I knew who I was when I was making my YouTube videos and in that.
Do I remember this summer that Megan went on a lot of hikes to Yosemite? Yes, I do. At the time, I was very overweight, and I did not like going on hikes. Neither did I like any physical activity. She'd always invite me on these hikes, and she'd leave early in the morning. We're talking about like 4 or 5 in the morning. She'd get there like at 7, and she'd start her hike, and she wouldn't get back until like 10 or 11 at night. And so I didn't want any part of that. I was just like, I could either stay home, eat junk food, and play video games, or walk really far, eat trail mix and a banana and Gatorade. I'd always chose to stay at home. But we went on this one hike one time, and you know, like, we climbed Half Dome. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it, but after that, I chose to, like, you know what, I'm gonna get fit, and I'm gonna love hiking because this is pretty freaking cool.
She definitely did change in that year, though. I remember when she was changing through the process and everything, and I remember I think I went once with her within those trips, and I remember it was definitely a life-changing experience because, you know, climbing Yosemite and climbing that mountain and getting everything prepared and kind of like, you know, quiet throughout the whole entire journey, like talking when we only take breaks. So it was kind of like a journey in itself because you reflect on life and everything. So I went that one time, so for her to go like every week kind of thing, I can only imagine how much clarity she got.
The very first video I made when I came back was called I'm a Gummy Bear, and that was the first time my YouTube channel had ever seen a music video, and I gave David a tiny little shirt and he danced around in the background. I had paint on my face, and we just had such a good time.
Filming the Gummy Bear, and I had to wear that little yellow shirt. We bought that at the dollar store. It was a kid's shirt. We were like prop shopping, and Megan was like, David, can you wear this sleeves? And I was like, no, I'm not gonna wear that. You're crazy. Because my body was still going through transitions. Like, I didn't want to like show my little tum-tum. I was like, no, that's not gonna happen. And ultimately, she, you know, convinced me to do it, so I wore it. But it was still, looking back at it, hilarious. I even made the ears for it too. But it was still really, really cool. Looking back on it, I loved it.
After I posted that, it was crazy because it got so many views, and I'm like, wow, people really like music videos. Maybe this is something that we should be doing more of, because we hadn't. That had been the first time, and we received such a great reaction. I'm like, I think this is something that I want to keep doing. And I realized I like making people laugh, and this is why I'm on YouTube, and this is why I need to keep going. I was talking to my friend Zach on AIM, and I just hate how they make me feel. They make me feel like such like vlog candy. Because I was a part of a collab channel that just kind of like, just felt like they used me. And he was like, whoa, that's a really cool name. And I was like, what, vlog candy? And he's like, yeah, that should be a collab channel. We should start a collab channel. I'm like, why not? That sounds like a interesting idea.